Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Whenever I talk about anxiety, I feel anxious, so I feel really weird right now. I just want to get right into it and just tell you guys a little bit about what I've gone through. My junior year of high school, I started to go to see a therapist. It might have been more around the end of sophomore year, but somewhere in that time I started to go see a therapist. And I did get recommended for medication, so I got evaluated, and when I got evaluated, it's not that surprising, but I got diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety. Their prescription was Adderall and Zoloft right off the bat, right? I didn't take the Zoloft for that long. I'm going to get into that in just a moment. I started taking the Adderall and the Zoloft. The Adderall was the best thing ever for me when I first started taking it. I was getting my work done, I was getting my homework done, I was cleaning, I was, So the reason why they gave me the Adderall is because my brain was so ding, 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 ding that my body was exhausted, and I was just all I could do was sit there and think. So I continued taking that. The Zoloft then, on the counteractive side, knocked me out. So it was at the same time of me feeling, just a million miles an hour, it's I also felt like a zombie. It's just, I was gonna write about this in my blog, but I don't know how. I think this is a better way for me to just get it out there. I might still write about it, depending on how jumbled this is and how confused everybody is. I'm already kind of feeling confused, but the Zoloft eventually had to stop because I was actually changing at my friend Taylor's house, which I don't know if you're watching this, Taylor, but
I was changing, I think, in different pants. I was borrowing pants or we were having sleepover or something, and she literally asked me, kind of concerned if Colton had hit me, and I was like, okay, what? She took pictures of my back.
So now I'm just taking Adderall. Now Adderall is like crack. Literally. I was grinding my teeth, loss of appetite. I think I lost a little bit of weight at first, and it was just kind of whatever. The loss of appetite was a real problem for me. I know it was. And then it was either I was very constipated or I had the runs, and I had emergencies all the time, which I am someone who, I don't have regular everyday bowel movements. I never have. I know that's natural and that's what you're supposed to do, but that's not my body. I go once every 2 to 3 days. I'm working on getting a regular schedule still, but that's just not me. So it just kind of messed up my schedule even more. And if you know me, you already know what's coming because I have not been quiet about it. I was quite traumatized by the experience. And this is not to scare anybody because everybody's eventually going to have to get this done, or you're supposed to anyway. This is not to scare anybody, but it did traumatize me being young and it being just thrown on me. Time went on. Christmas time went by. I'm still taking the Adderall, and I believe I had started downing my dosage by now, and I wasn't taking it every day. I didn't take it on the weekends. The summer between junior and senior year, I did not take it, but I was still taking it regularly. Down the dose, down the dose, down the dose, and now we are all the way down to I think we just cut it in half by this time. It's I'm taking 15 milligrams a day. They gave me 10 milligram pills, and I would cut them in half and take 5, 5, 5. I kept losing weight. I'm going to show you a picture of myself on January 3rd, 2017 that I took for my Snapchat, so I know that was the date. During this time of me losing all this weight, I didn't have an appetite. When I was eating, I would be feeling like I was going to gag. I never threw up, but part of me thought it was an eating disorder. I was drinking protein shakes. I was, eating these, what are they? They're the something in Larry's. They're the nutritional cookies. You find them by the protein bars and stuff. If you go into the store or whatever. I know in Target I stock them, and they're by the 1 bars and the protein Clif bars and stuff by all the workout stuff. And basically nothing was working, and my poops during this time, right, hurt, and they were slimy. White slime, strings. Sometimes, I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say. That's too much. Anyway, I was convinced that I had worms, the parasite. My mom didn't think so, but I literally would be okay, we'll go look at that then, because what is that? So the first doctor that we went to, thankfully, just got right down to it, and he was we're gonna run a couple tests, but we're scheduling you a colonoscopy for February 22nd, actually. I was just looking on Snapchat. So we're like getting, maybe I will post this on the anniversary 2 years ago of my colonoscopy. Thank God I haven't had to get another one. And I also got an endoscopy, which goes, down your throat. I was terrified when he said that. I literally was like, this is, yeah, nope, can't say that. In the time of me waiting for my colonoscopy, I believe it was like scheduled for like 3 weeks from then. I got some blood tests done, and then I also had to do a stool test, which was the most disgusting thing I did in my life. I had to poop in a bowl, and then I had to scoop it out with a spoon into a little like tube, like it was literally like a pill bottle. I cried the entire time. I hate this. And maybe it's not that big of a deal to some people, because I know people go through things that are like a lot more serious than this. This is nothing compared to things that people go through. The day comes around, maybe I'll insert some Snapchat videos that I saved. I did the whole night before prep. They had me do, there's 2 preps you can do. They had me do like I don't know if it's like the lighter prep or like the easier prep. They had me do things that you could buy at a drugstore, actually. So, Dukalax is what it's called. I feel like that's wrong because it sounds like Dookie. Since we're talking, but it's like Ducolax. I'll put a picture of it somewhere here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So the first was to take 2 of those, and then I had to mix a big pitcher of a liquid of my choice that was clear, so I could go water, apple juice, or basically like a clear, sorry, my phone is on 20%. A clear like Gatorade. So, wanna gag saying this, the Cherry Frost Gatorade, the white one. I already don't really like Gatorade that much, and I can't even look at that stuff, it's been 2 years, and I can't look at that stuff in the stores. So this was the prep. I take those. My colonoscopy was on a Friday morning. So on Wednesday night, after midnight, midnight, Wednesday night, going into Thursday, I couldn't eat anything else. So that night before I went to bed, I had to take 2 of the Dukalax, whatever. The next morning, I instantly had to go to the restroom. It was like a normal, movement, whatever. As soon as I woke up that morning, it was 4 to 6 ounces every 15 minutes. I'm not joking you. That's insane. 4 to 6 ounces every 15 minutes. I'll have to look at the time, because maybe it was every half an hour. I have it all documented in Snapchat, thank God, now that I'm telling the story. Back then, I never knew I was going to. But anyway, so I was drinking like little cups like this, and I'm like, nah, this is fine, It was about 3 hours of liquid before I went to the restroom again. And that was when, like, basically the rest of the food I had in me came out. And then after that, it all went downhill. I basically was drinking Cherry Frost Gatorade and peeing out my butt Cherry Frost Gatorade. So then I eventually, I've actually never told this story, like, start to finish. And I'm not, like, gonna cry or anything, but, like, I'm just reliving it right now, and it's just getting a little hard to breathe here, okay, guys? So, yeah, that sucked really bad. My mom told me I only had about this much left, and since everything was coming out clear, she's like, you don't finish it. I'm like, thank God. I'm never drinking anything ever again. I'm just going to live off of bread for the rest of my life. Whew. So, the next morning, I had to go in. Obviously, thank God it was kind of early in the morning. I think I have a picture of me in the hospital, so I'll be able to get the time on it. Thank God when you click on Snapchat Memories, you can see everything, because this is helping me recall the whole thing. I'll put that picture in here. I looked pretty sickly, kind of disgusting. So I go in, I'm scared. They put you, basically you're like, if you've ever been in like a waiting room for, surgery or anything, it's the same thing. You're a bunch of curtains. But thank God they put me all the way on the end. So it's like my little curtain wall and then a bathroom. So I got to use the bathroom like 4 or 5 times waiting on the doctor to come. Basically, they came to take me back, and I was like, alright, freaking let's do this. I'm starving. So they took me back, and basically they were like, okay, we're gonna put you under now, and you know what? I had on just a gown. They have you take off, obviously, everything like they're about to enter the booty hole. I don't know what to say. They're about to enter, the butt. So, in the mouth, it sounds real great. It's the best experience of my life. Oh my. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, so they're like, all right, we're gonna put you under now. Are you ready? And I'm like, yes, put me out. I'm like, really pump that stuff in there. So they were really nice and they were talking to me. And then as the last thing I remember is as I'm falling, like, I'm going out. They're like, we forgot to tell her to roll over. It's not like I weighed, I'm not that heavy. They could have done it, but they're like, sweetie, can you roll over? So I'm like, ugh, and I just like rolled over. And I also remember them putting an orange thing to hold my mouth open so they could, get that camera down there. And then I woke up, rolled back into the waiting room, not the waiting room, but the area of recovery, basically. And that's what I think is what it's called, the recovery area. And I think my parents had started to videotape me, but they stopped because I believe I was crying when I woke up. So, I said a couple funny things, I guess. Then I was starving and wanted to go to Olive Garden, so we went and got Olive Garden, and it was all, uphill from there. So the results came back, and you'll never guess. You already read the title. The doctor said, you have anxiety. All that from anxiety. So basically, the moral of me telling you this gross, kind of embarrassing story of mine is because I don't want to call it mental illness, but anxiety kind of is. It's, it's the mental condition. It's up here. It is. It's all up here, and it can do some crap to your body. And I think it's very important to be aware what that is instead of being in denial. And by all means, if you're having health issues, go get checked, because this doctor right in front of me told me and I think both my parents were in there with me. You know what? Colon cancer in kids, the rates are rising. And I want to rule out any question, and we're going to go right to the big thing. So instead of doing, a bunch of little tests first and, waiting on the results and, oh, we'll do this, and then now we'll do this, and then now, later, 2 months later, we'll do the colonoscopy. He's like, no, we're going to order it all now because I just want to know. We just need to figure out what it is. So, I guess that's my story. Anyone else had a similar thing happen? I mean, can anyone relate to this? Like, obviously, I know the obvious things, and if you want to share these, please. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about your diarrhea, but we know, when you get anxious, your stomach gets upset. Yeah, it's a more common thing, but has anyone else had extreme weight loss? And I was not diarrhea. It was nasty, hard, hurting, coming out with slime around it that looked like I had worms, and I was losing weight, and I was a mess, and I don't even think I realized it at the time. I think this is the best way to get my story out there. I was going to write it on my blog. As you can see, there were a lot of factors that went into it, and some things are better for me to do on my blog, and some things are better for me to do on my channel, and I want to keep it that way. I love doing both, and I thank you guys for letting me have that platform. I think this is where I'm going to end the video. So, if you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel for me telling you this freaking traumatizing story. Comment down below, really, maybe a weird thing that your anxiety triggers, or something that you don't notice that your anxiety does that other people notice. If you don't have anxiety, I'm so glad. Please comment. I do not have anxiety, and, I'm doing great, because not everyone is as lucky, and I don't want to say, like, ooh, is as lucky as you, but some of us are out here struggling, and I think the more of the world needs to know about it, because I think people who don't have things like anxiety are very oblivious to how hard everyday life can be for somebody else. Anyway, like I said, subscribe, comment something, please share this with somebody. I'm going to post on Facebook, share it on Facebook. I'm going to link all my social media down below. I'm going to link my blog. Let me know if there's anything else you guys want to see or hear or whatever. I don't know. Give me some words of encouragement, because now I'm going to be embarrassed. I'm going to post this and I'm going to want to hide under my bed for the next 20 years of my life. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.